Welcome to Vintage Variety. This is part 2 of my antiquing trip to Monroe, Georgia. If you missed part 1, I will link it in the description box below this video. In part 1, I visited an antique store called the Cotton Depot. I found a few nice pieces of vintage jewelry there. Today's content, I'm going to visit Vintage Revival Antiques, and I'm going to bring you guys along with me. From the looks of it, a lot of the vendors in this antique store have items on sale. I'm not sure if they're trying to clearance out items and make room for more, or if they are trying to sell out because they're planning to close their booth up. This booth is 20% off. I've also spotted a few booths that are 50% off and 75% off. I've seen quite a few items in this glass case that I really do like. They are 20% off, but even with the 20% off, they're a little bit pricey, so we're going to move on and see if we find anything else. I don't just collect vintage jewelry. There are quite a few different things that I like to collect, and one of them is cast iron. I collect cast iron because that is my cookware of choice. I cook with it on a regular basis. So anytime that I'm out at an antique store or even a thrift store, I always keep an eye out for pieces that I might want to add to my cookware. This booth terrifies me. There's just so much in it. It's so crowded, and the majority of what's in this booth is glass. So I don't even want to step inside of it and take a look around for fear of knocking something over or breaking something. I'm just going to browse right by this. Beer steins. This is something that I run across quite often in antique stores and also at flea markets. I know that a lot of people collect them. Some of them can be quite valuable, and some of them aren't so valuable because they've been mass produced. I myself am not a beer drinker, but I do have quite a large collection of beer steins. There is kind of an interesting story as to why I started collecting them. If you guys would like to see content on that, showing my collection and hearing the story behind why I collect them, definitely let me know in the comments. Some more jewelry in another jewelry case. This booth is full of pieces of jewelry. Let's go inside this booth and take a closer look at what all they have. Quite a few necklaces hanging up here. Some of them look a little bit more modern. I really like this one. I think this is very pretty. Lots of really nice pieces. I haven't seen anything that has really caught my eye yet, but there is a lot to see in this booth. Some brooches, and it says that these are vintage, so I'll have a look through those. And here are some more pinned to this dress form. Let's look and see if there's anything good inside of this. I always like to look closely. I see that a lot of them are labeled, so I may find a few good pieces in here. This is a pretty rhinestone brooch. This one's not bad either. A few really nice pieces in here. I see a few that I just might purchase. I'm going to continue looking through them. You guys look along with me and see if you see anything that you think is worth buying. This is one that I might get. They also have some vintage earrings, so I'm going to take a quick look through these and see if there's anything that catches my eye. I like these. They are not clip-ons. They have posts. My guess is someone has converted them because they look like they've been converted on the back. There's some more earrings in this tray also. I'm going to browse through this one rather quickly. Some more items. They have some watches, which I'm not interested in. Some more clip-ons. They also have some more necklaces hanging up here. Bracelets. Just a lot of different items to look at. My guess is I'm going to find a few items that I wish to purchase out of this booth. Some screwback earrings, floral brooches, people or figural brooches, and I've also noticed the sign. This booth also has 25% off on everything that's in it. I am definitely going to have a really good look at everything that's in this booth. My guess is there's going to be a few pieces that are a really good price that I can take home with me today. I'm going to go back and I'm going to browse in the baskets and trays that had all of the little pieces and baggies in them. Going through jewelry like that can be a little bit tedious, but it's well worth it because I've found some great pieces that way. Wow, here is a booth with a lot of jewelry jars. The last antique store had a lot of jewelry jars in it too, so maybe that's a very popular thing in this area. These jars range from $30 to $50. Just getting a really close look at them, I don't see anything that makes me think that it would be worth spending that much on one of these jars. The two tall milk glass containers that you see here, there's one on the left and one on the right. Those are old Tang drink mix containers. They would have originally came with an orange lid on them. I know this because we had one at my house when I was a kid. This is kind of neat. I don't think I've ran across one of these before. Then again, I probably have and just don't remember. This is like a little traveling bar. More jewelry in this booth, and I have already spotted a Monet bracelet. Do you guys see it? That's it right there. You can see the Monet on the inside of it. And I am definitely going to purchase this because this booth is 50% off. I already see quite a few pieces of jewelry in this booth that I'm going to choose to purchase today. Unfortunately, my phone is starting to die, so I'm not going to be able to record all of it. The first piece that I'm going to show is this beautiful Monet bracelet. You guys saw this as we were browsing inside of that one booth. I was really excited about finding this. When I first spotted it, I thought that it might be a Monet book piece, and I knew that it was most likely from the 1980s. I did look in the Monet book. They did a line of jewelry in this kind of design. It had the enameling and it was in red and black. There were a lot of pieces that would have went with this, so I'm pretty sure I know which collection it came from, but this piece was not in the book. Either way, I was really excited to get this because I do not have anything like this in my collection of Monet jewelry. Here is a closer view of the mark on the inside. This has a clasp on the side of it. It's a really neat bracelet, and it's one that I know I will enjoy wearing. I also have some beads that most likely came from this same collection. This is how this bracelet looks on my wrist. I think this is just gorgeous. This was a really good price because the items in that booth were 50% off. There were a lot of really good items that I chose from that booth. Unfortunately, I did not get to record it, as I've already mentioned, because my phone battery was running on low power. This is another one of those items. This is a beautiful necklace. In the center, it has this dark purple glass cabochon. This is not foiled back. I'm going to show you the back side of it so you can see. This is a longer necklace. It has a twisted rope chain done in a gold tone. I really like the way they have set this cabochon. It's done with sawtooth settings and it's surrounded by a beautiful twisted braid. At the bottom, it also has this beautiful chain tassel with these lovely little golden balls on the end. I think this is just a fabulous piece of vintage jewelry. This is a rather long necklace. I have doubled it up on the form so you guys can see it better. And this is what it looks like from a distance. Another very beautiful necklace. This one is an unsigned beauty. I really love the color of the beads on this necklace. It's a really beautiful color of blue. I also like the gold tone filigree bead caps. In between each of the blue beads, it also has these beautiful gold tone spacers. And this necklace also has a spring ring clasp. This necklace is also unsigned and it does not have a clasp on it. It's a very long necklace, so I've doubled it up on the form. This would be a great piece for layering, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It has these beautiful rice pearls, and it has accent beads. There's purple glass beads, beautiful rose quartz beads, and then it has these small gold spacers in between. So this was definitely a wonderful find. When I spotted this necklace, I thought that it just might be sterling. I don't see a mark on the necklace or the pendant anywhere, so I'll have to test it. My guess is that this necklace is most likely silver plated. I really like this. I like the way it looks. I love the little heart pendant on it. This is more of a torque necklace, and it's a great item to have because you can always change the pendants out and wear different pendants on it. So I thought this was also a really good find from that same booth. This necklace is not in great condition. You can see that some of the coating or paint has come off of these beads. These are just really inexpensive plastic beads. So you're probably wondering, why would I even bother to purchase this? I purchased it mainly for the torque that the beads are on. This is just a silver tone torque, but I have a lot of different pendants that would look great on this torque. I looked at it carefully before I bought it to make sure that I could remove the beads, and I can. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the beads off of this, and I'm going to use the torque for another pendant. This beautiful little cha-cha bracelet has lucite beads and silver tone beads. It is a stretch bracelet, but it's in really good condition. It still has plenty of stretch to it. I really love bracelets like this. This is how it looks on my wrist, and one thing I like about this kind of bracelet is that it has plenty of movement to it. Another beautiful bracelet from that same booth. This one is brass and wood. I love the stamping that's on the brass. The wood could use a little bit of a cleaning. I'll probably put a little bit of wood conditioner on it, and then I'll polish the entire bracelet up. I really liked the design of this bracelet, and it's very unusual. This is the last piece that I picked up from that booth, and this is for a tie. I don't usually buy men's jewelry, but I thought this was rather unusual. This piece also needs to be cleaned. You can see that there's a little bit of debris on it, but I thought, why not? This piece is also signed. It has a marking on it. It is marked Swank. And I picked this up because even if it's not a piece that I use, I do know someone that wears ties quite often, and I can always give it to them. These items came from the booth that had all of the little baskets with the baggies. This is one of the necklaces that I spotted hanging up. I liked the combination of the faux seed pearls on this, and then these beautiful little green and coral beads with the gold spacers. This necklace is a really nice length, and this one has a gold tone barrel clasp. I've been to a lot of antique stores and thrift stores that have baskets with little baggies of jewelry in them. I mentioned that going through those can be tedious, but it's well worth the effort because I have found some really good pieces of jewelry that way. All of these items came out of those baskets, and I'm going to show these to you, and you'll see that I got some really good pieces. That was one of the first booths that we went into, and if you'll recall, they were also having a sale on their items. All of these items were marked 25% off. I'm going to start with this beautiful gold tone brooch. The stone in the center of this brooch is a real stone, and I believe it to be malachite. I'm not sure if it is or not. If you think it's malachite, definitely let me know in the comments. I thought this was really pretty. It's a decent size. This could also be attached to a chain and worn on a pendant. This brooch does have a marking on the back of it. It's really tiny and hard to make out, so I'm going to zoom in. From what I can tell, it looks as though it is 12 karat gold filled. And there's also some type of a maker's mark on it. I'm going to have to get a really close look at this through the loop and do a little bit of research, but I was thrilled to see that this was gold filled and that it also had a maker's mark. Brooch was a really good find. And I'm glad that I looked through all of those bins and baggies because I found some really good stuff. And here is a closer view of the stamping on the back of this brooch. This is another brooch. This one is very small. I chose this because I really liked the design on the front of it. To me, this looks like some kind of a crest. I'm guessing either Irish or Scottish. It does have some lettering on it. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this, but if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Here's a good view of the back of this brooch. There is a marking on the pin stem. It's really tiny, so I'm going to have to look at this closely under a loupe to try and figure out what the marking on this says. This is a figural brooch, and I really liked the way this looked. You can see that it has all of these African or safari type animals on it. There is a giraffe, a rhinoceros, an elephant, and what I'm assuming is a zebra. I'm not really sure about this. I don't know if this brooch was just something that was manufactured, if it's an artisan piece, or if it was someone's craft project, but I thought it was a really neat looking brooch. The reason I think that this could possibly be a craft project is because of the mounting on the back of it. You can see there's a little hole on one end. The mounting is brass, and then when you turn it to the side, you can see how all of these little animals have been layered together and sandwiched. Regardless, I really like this. I think it's a very unique brooch. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a craft project or maybe an artisan piece? This one is a gold tone stick pin, and it has the Mother Mary on it. I picked this up for my collection of stick pins. I don't have one like this already, and I thought this would be a nice addition. It also has the end on it, which is great because a lot of times when you find these stick pins out thrifting, it will be missing that part. Another gold tone brooch, and this one is actually signed. When I noticed the mark on the back of it, that's the main reason I decided to get this one. I'm going to flip it over so you can see where it's signed on the back. This is signed Trafari. In fact, this is a crown Trafari brooch. Hopefully you can see the marking on that, but just in case, I'll be sure to insert a picture. Could use a gentle cleaning and a polish up, but overall this brooch is in excellent condition. And here is a better view of the marking on this brooch. These were not in a baggie, they were laying in the basket loose. I picked these up because I noticed that they were on the card. Now, a lot of times you'll run across earrings on cards. The earrings will be some other brand that's been placed on that card. So I flipped these over to check the back just to make sure that they were marked Napier. And they are, which is great. These are the convertible type. They can screw on or they can be worn as clip-ons. And as you can see, the Napier marking on these is really clear. Often when you run across pieces of vintage jewelry, they are no longer in their original package, or in the case of these earrings, on their original card. Now, it's not impossible to find pieces with their original packaging. I have run across a few, and I've seen a few that other YouTubers have, but I really think it's neat that they have the original card with them. Another really great pair of earrings I ran across were these. These are copper enameled earrings, and these are Matisse. A lot of people collect jewelry by Renoir. Renoir produced two different lines. One of them was Renoir and one of them was Matisse, which is what these are. I'm going to flip these over and let you see the back of them where they are marked Matisse. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that the right way. If I'm not, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I thought these were really neat. I don't own any pieces by them, so I definitely wanted to pick these up to add to my collection of vintage jewelry. These beautiful gold tone earrings are pierced. I really liked these. They are larger, so they are more statement pieces. I picked these up because I knew that they were a pair of earrings that I would enjoy wearing. They look like they would be heavy, but they're actually quite lightweight, and I really liked the texture of the design on them. These aren't signed. There is a good look at the back, but I thought these were absolutely gorgeous. These gold tone dragon earrings are also signed. I'm going to flip these over and give you a view of the marking on the back of these. The post on this one is a little bit bent, That should be fairly easy to straighten out. I do keep jewelry tools for things such as this. These are marked MFA, which is the Museum of Fine Art. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on these to see what they are a reproduction of, but I really thought these were neat looking earrings. This was a really good haul from this antique store. I'm certainly going to have to go back to Monroe, Georgia again and visit some of the antique stores that I did not have time to browse in. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. If you aren't already a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. It's free to subscribe and it helps me to keep producing great content like this. Also, ring the bell for notification for more content on vintage and antique items. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.